Alright, so we are right back into another Dragon Ball Super card game video. So this one, yeah, I'm doing the top 6, well, top 32 technically, and kind of a breakdown, talk about it a little bit, but really the intention here, since if you haven't already, go check out like the Eggman's or Crossworlds or anybody else's breakdown, because I'm not going to bore you with those kind of details, but I really wanted to make sure that I talked through about the deck that I took, which is in front of us, my matchups, my experience, etc. A little bit of shout outs, and as well as a little bit on the metagame, because we do have the San Diego regional that's going to come up pretty soon here. Because I went to Orlando, I'm most likely not going to attend San Diego, but I will be at nationals. Like I got my nationals invite, I got the top. It's all good. Like I'm feeling pretty good. I had to take this deck, but oh well, I guess, right? If anything, to jump right into it, yeah, this is Shenron ramp. Shout out to Anthony Hernandez. Obviously he piloted into the second place of the last regional. Shout out to Young Badman, because he obviously is my teammate, and he showed his Purunga deck, and I was like, yo, I want to explore that a little bit more, because I was running a different ramp engine than him, or at least a different sort of defensive black cards, all this other stuff with this sort of deck, and as well as the Trunks, because as soon as the Trunks I saw, or as soon as I saw the Trunks in Badman's deck, I was like, I want to play that. Overall, it is a pretty standard ramp deck. Like there isn't anything crazy about this. It has the same game plan to get Gogeta, Gogeta 7, and then Kaioken right after. And honestly, there are a number of MVPs that really helped me out throughout the event and throughout the weekend. And honestly, I'm in between a lot of the cards. Like if I had to take this card or this deck again, I would probably switch up the ratios for different things. But honestly, I've seen every single card that's in the deck. There were a couple of times where I didn't see an objection, weirdly enough. There were a couple of times that I didn't see a Whis, or I didn't use it at all. And then sometimes I wish I mainboarded like you know, Time Disruptor over global or Kami, that is, or maybe an unexpected turn in the main, and then maybe a couple in the side. But thankfully I didn't run into any Universe 6. I think that was partly some of my success when it comes to the matchups. But overall, again, this is the list. Like if you have any questions, let me know. A few things that are different is, of course, the Trunks Memories of the Past. Every single time that I put this down, turn 6 or whatever, or whatever, whenever I could have done it, someone picked it up or asked about, like, oh, can I see that card, or what does that do? And I'm like, let me go ahead and introduce you to this card real quick. And if you didn't know, his like this SR basically was designed for the Vegito engine, because it says when you combo from the energy area, you get to play the card at the end of the battle. You can only play one at the battle area as well. You can't get multiple out. But I really used it. Well, again, I got it from Badman, but I use it as a 30k double striker, which is an alternative win con basically just an alternative win con. And it says the auto, when you play this card, you draw one and you choose one card from your hand and add to your energy. Not only that you net a card from playing and get a 60k or 30k body with double strike, you also get to ramp right after. So the sequencing became turn 1 star, turn 2 Super Dragon Ball, turn 3 objection into World Peace afterwards, which you could go ahead and wish. That's generally where you want to do, because you want to mulligan for at least 1 or 2 balls. And then right after that, you flip over after putting a what you call it, Figure of Majesty in the drop. You flip over, get a World Peace for free, untap 2, and then Resting Attendant to go to 5. Of course, this is all on the play, but you can always do it off the play as well. And then right after that, you pass turn. You have Bean, you have Whis, you have all this other stuff to defend yourself. Plus, you have a pretty good hand. Usually, Shenron has a pretty big hand anyway. And then right after that, you go into the next turn. You hard cast the Trunks, which otherwise, the only time that I would be afraid to play this is when they have 3 blue and yellow up for Frost Deadly Poison, or if you're going against a Frieza army leader, and then which you get Cold Bloodlusted. But I mean, you have Zeno button, and if you do it for Free Wish after that, which you should have your Shenron still out, you should be good to go. And then right after that, you should go to 7 energy from there, because you charge at 6 at that time, turn 4, and then go to 7 energy. Free Wish the Gogeta that you put out for the Super Dragon Ball, because at least you should at least see it by then, after drawing so many cards. Like honestly, you see the whole deck. It's hard not to at that time or at that point. And if you don't, then that's kind of a bummer. But I mean, you could also get out the Kaioken as well, and you can always just take a life and then see their hand. It's not that big of a deal. The other part of it is that as soon as you do get the hero revived out, you do have a 30k double striker here, a 30k triple striker here, and then if all goes well and they didn't do anything or to take care of it, then the Shenron figure managed is going to stay there as well. And then I never had an issue with the counterplays. Like I always had it out. If it died, then it died. Like if he dies, he dies. You know what I'm saying? But it's not that big of a deal. I didn't find it a big of a deal. What really kind of killed me is the early aggro, which the other change in this was the Zeno button. In which, like, if you're going to be tapping out turn 2 with Super Dragon Ball, especially against Kaba or U6 or any kind of aggro deck, which I did play against at Red Gogeta leader, which he did aggro me down quite a bit. Like it was kind of scary. Not only that, but also the top 16 I want to say against him and his red pan, that was crazy. Zeno button did help a little bit to set up before the pre Zeno basically, so that way I'm not like drawing into 5 1Ks and tapped out. So that's the type of thing that I was looking for. And then everything else is pretty standard. I kind of wish I went to 4 bean, and then yeah, I mean, I don't know what I would cut. Like you could go like 1 Kami and 4 bean instead. I feel like bean is a little bit more important than Kami. Kami was in the main because it was like if I get to 4 energy and I still haven't ramped far enough, or if I'm off the play and they built a board, Kami is always going to be the better play. So that way I can always clear board, and then the next turn or the same turn I'll be fine. I'll be fine to defend. At all costs at 2 wasn't that big of a deal. I only used them a couple times to untap energy and then draw 1. Anytime I took 2, I felt kind of bad. Well, I will take that back. When you do play him, you know, you get the draw 1, untap 1, gives you more options for plays, and then I mean, after you take 2 and you threaten for a triple strike, because at that time I'm going to be having 5 or more energy and have that 5k boost or the 3k boost. Whenever I do swing, it's always going to be negated. It's just one of those things. I'm like, yeah, you can interact with it, which this deck you don't really want anybody to interact with. That's why I took it, so that's why it's broken. But that's the thing for at all costs. It was cool when I used it. It was cool as an alternative win con. I think in the mirror it's really good because it's a 4 cost in which you can go ahead and threaten earlier. That's one thing that I learned in the top 8 match, which I just didn't play against or play to right. And that's pretty much it. So the side, King Yema, shout out to Isaiah for misplaying on stream. This one is a clutch card against the mirror. That's the only reason why I won against the Purunga ramp kind of mirror in round 5, I want to say. Round 5 or round 6, one of those. If you didn't know, he takes 2 cards, non-black cards from their drop area and then shuffles into their deck after you pay 2. And then you draw a card. What's cool about this is that it only is 2 energy. You're going to be ramping quite a lot, and by the time that you need to use it, and you know that they have targets in their drop as for world peace, it's going to be really, really good to use. And it really sets them back if they're really dependent on world peace. And the thing is that yes, your deck is dependent by world peace, but the other thing is that when you side in dark power or any kind of short range attackers or at all costs or whatever, you can plan out the world peace on the same turn. So whenever you do want the target in the drop and you know they're going to be signing it in or they have it in their side, which I did know at that point, you just swing, or when they swing, you combo out into the time of their last attack, or you time the last attack or your attack on your turn, and then world peace it out, because you don't really want that to be in the drop and be vulnerable by that. And I did make that sideboard video in which had the combo cards in which you put their cards in their from their drop into their deck, just like this one. But I mean, at the same time, it's the same concept. You just have to watch out for it. The other part of it is that Shenron Figure Majesty, the second option, or the second like ability, I guess, is a 2 cost or less from your drop. So if you combo out the King Yema and then activate main, draw 1, and then do it again, you can kind of recycle it over and over again. It's the same concept for the dangerous Journey Bulma, Kami, etc. against Janemba, against whatever else we want to do. Shenron is really, really good. Another one I would consider putting up to 3, but really isn't that. I mean, you see one, you see that's the only one you really need to see. And then Dangerous Journey, Bulma, and Unexpected Turn. Unexpected Turn was for U6 and other go wide matches. I even sided into the pan match. It was just, I didn't really need it, I guess. I didn't think I needed it anyway. And then the Dangerous Journey Bulma was for Janemba. I did respect the deck. I don't think enough people did, even if it was tricolored, or even if it was counterplay Janemba. Like, you do want to make sure that you have answers to it. It is just one of those decks that is always going to be around until it's taken care of. Like, have a direct answer, or errata, or a ban. It is going to be around forever. And not only that, is that Shenron is affected by it quite a lot. What you really want to do is let them mill you out. Don't use the Super Dragon Ball. Go ahead and pitch it with the 1-star, and be sparing with your Dragon Balls. Like, you don't have the mulligan for one, because you're gonna have a higher chance of them milling you out the Dragon Balls, which is better for you, so that you don't draw yourself out. And then the Dangerous Journey Bulma, like, you're gonna be putting back the Shenrons, you're going to be putting back at all costs, Whis, etc. Those are the best targets for it, except for your big boys. And then we have Dark Power, which affects U6. Again, I was siding out for it, just didn't get a chance to. And as well as Pan, Power Burst for all these other targets. Like, I would side out 2 of the Whis for the Power Burst, and then my super combos, well, actually, 1 Whis, and then my super combos for Power Burst, and then the Dangerous Journey Bulma, so that way I can have it for Janemba for that matchup. So Recap in Time is really good for my matchup, especially if they're relying on that 1-drop Awakening Pan. I could run Crisis Crusher instead. I just like the draw, and as well as that it's recurred by Power Burst. It's just, Power Burst is just so strong. Haru is really good. I misplayed it when I was playing against Brian Reed. Shout out to you, my man. It was this Chi deck in which I was supposed to ramp super hard with Whis, Objection, Haru, Whis, Dejection, right? It just didn't go that way, because Haru untaps 4. It's a critical attacker. The only thing is to watch out for is preemptive denial, and as well as what's the other one? Cold Bloodless. So those are all, well, except for denial, all those 2 are threats in Chile. And of course another Purunga, which is just a clutch card. Like, honestly, this one, Purunga, and as well as Memories of the Past, are 2 very underrated cards, and probably very undervalued. Like, I would say it for any Shenron deck. So that reminds me, if you want to buy anything, please use the link below, because yeah, your boy is affiliated with TCG Player as well, so shout out to them. I at the time of the recording, I don't think I have the link set up, but by the time you see this, you're gonna see the link in the description, so please click on that link, help your brother out. I don't really do anything else. I'll try to do more things for this. Yeah. So that is the deck. That is my thought process for it. Matchups go round 1, blue yellow Rudigan. That was my only loss. I went X11. He was cool. He went into top 32 with me. I think he ended in top 16. Shout out to you, my man. I think it was like, I always have bad luck for first round. I completely forget how to play my deck in my first round in any regional. So like, if I win the first round, it's usually a good thing. But if I don't win it, it's just like, what am I doing with my life? The biggest thing about that is the Champas that really messed me up. I just didn't play around them enough. I mean, other than that, like, the Gohans are really annoying because you can't establish the Purunga or the other dragon. Other than that, it's really not. I mean, it's just whatever, right? It was a 2-1 match, or 1-2 for me. Whatever it is, right? I don't remember what round 2 was. I think it was Oob. It was either Oob or Purunga. But I know those are the next 2 matches. I played the Oob. In order to really play around it, like, I went first the first game. I Gogeta Hero Vibe. It was whatever, right? That was the set game. The second game was just don't get aggroed, and I did. The pans were too much, and I didn't draw my negates enough, so I went ahead and sided in the Kai as a time disruptor. and as well as power bursts in order to have more negates and to recur those. What I wanted to do was to mulligan for a Whis or power burst, which after I mulligan for it, when he swings after he uses the Dende, the Videl requires no battle cards on the field. And what you do is after he plays the Dende to get the Videl, and he swings with leader, which is the only one that he can swing with because the Dende can't swing itself and then clear itself and combo out, is that you negate the leader for Whis, and then after that, if he plays the 1-drop Pan, which he did, you play out the Kai. And those are the things that you really want to watch out for when in the mulligan for that type of matchup. And that's pretty much how I won. I just delayed it and got to my win con. And the Purunga, it was just go first, and as well as Yama. That was a really good match overall. Shout out to him. And then I think it was the red Gogeta BR. That was tough because you really have to defend. You really have to get a board state, as in like at all costs, Shenron, Whis, whatever it may be, get something on the board. So that way their big Gogeta can't swing into it or crit you to life, basically, the SR. And if they do get the rare and they swing, just hold your negates. That's it. And then just Gogeta them because they have a big hand. I forget when that was Brian Reed and his Chi-Lai deck. That was tough because he top decked the secret. I don't want to talk about it. We tied. I don't want to talk about it any further. It was a cool match. It was just like, what is my life? And then after that, I think there were 7 rounds, but I just forget one of them. If not, there was 6. The last match I know for sure was against Thomas Littman. That was his multicolored, tricolored Janemba. Honestly, if you want to beat the Janemba meta right now, like, play this deck, because like this does work because they don't really do anything other than swing to leader. And if you know how to play it, which I mentioned how to do it with Dangerous Journey and etc., and you get out the secret, because it's either this secret or Victory Strike. Those are the two that you really want. And this does work because against the multicolored Janemba and really any multicolored deck, you can take away their multicolored their energy, which will mess them up. And the thing that really messed him up, which I kind of felt bad when I did it, was I swung and I took away his only blue yellow energy, which at that point he had a whatever negate, the one drop negate that you can activate from drop, all too easy, I think. But he didn't have any of the blue, and because of that he couldn't use any other multicolored counters. He couldn't do anything else. And it was just GG, because now it's 40,000 double strike, you're taking a life, and now I gave it triple strike, and now you're taking guarantee 4 with every swing double strike. It's crazy, it's stupid. And then after that, the next day, oh, by the way, I know some people were mentioning, because I got 17, some saw my deck list. I missed the Goku and Oob, I'm sorry. They lost my deck list, and then I had to rewrite it. I guess I just missed the secret rare. But when I did write the deck list, they deck checked me. They saw everything. It's just like, I don't know what else to tell you in Top Cut, that is. In Top Cut, I play Top 32. A Toa player. So if you're watching this, I apologize if you felt like I was slow playing. And you know, it's just fuck that, dude. No, you were rude, dude. Like, you were like, I understand that you're a little salty that I beat you in the first round or the first game. I get it. This is what happened. I beat him in the first game. Okay. Even he said that he was a bad Toa player. I was like, whatever, man, it's all good. And then the next game, we got to a point where you got 2 mirrors out, and at that point it was 15 minutes after, or 10 minutes after, whichever one, after time, and we were in turns. And he was on his 3rd turn, but time was called. During that time, I was trying to decide what I was trying to pitch, and he was saying I was slow playing. If anybody knows the Toa versus Shenron matchup, it takes time and takes a lot of setup. So please, in the future, if you think it's slow playing, I got 2 things for you. Call a judge, okay? Please call a judge. And I even told him the next turn or the next game, I should have told him. I was like, if you think I'm slow playing, can you please call a judge on me? Because I don't want you to think that I am. I am just thinking, I am just setting it up. Also, my second piece of advice from a man who played the Toa, don't get 1-0'd. Don't lose the first match if you feel like I'm going to slow play or someone is going to slow play. I understand that you went home mad, and that's cool. You can stay mad. but don't be a dick, okay? Anyway, so that was that. I went on to top 16, which was against him. We played in Pasadena. That was a really good game, and I really wanted a rematch. Unfortunately, I was a really bad matchup for him, and I had to play it really carefully. It kind of went back and forth, and it really came down to me having one life and going all in on the 5-drop Gogeta. I ended up getting doing pretty well for that one, and I'm happy that I pulled it out. It sucks that he went undefeated in Swiss. I had him taken down, but it is what it is. And then top 8, I went ahead and went against the Shenron mirror. It wasn't a ramp version, it was a Gogeta version, good old school, but he had a cool side. Like he had I think it was Jordan Wallace, he had a cool side with the Krillin into the Skillets and stuff like that. It was cool. I just did not play it right. I did not sequence right. I did not mulligan right. I don't know what happened. My brain just stopped working in both games, and I just got scooped up. So it is what it is. I am happy for my performance. I feel like I could have went to top 4. I would have got around that controversy, but whatever. Yes, I did post out a few different deck profiles and stuff, including Roberts. I did delete a lot of different comments calling him a cheater. Honestly, the thing is that you know, a couple things. One, even if it was cheating, even if it was intentional, if it wasn't intentional, whatever, there's always two sides to the story. We weren't there. Yes, there is footage. We can interpret it as much as we want. Even if it was a mistake, if even it wasn't a mistake, I don't care. Like, I really do not care. What I do care about is that we do have efficient judging, and we do have availability for judging. I think that is a testament to something that we have to do as a community and as well as a game. Hopefully in the future that will get better. The other part of it is that a month from now, 2 months from now, no one is going to give a fuck about it. Honestly, no one's going to be talking about it. No one's going to care about it. Please just move on, okay? It's happened. Hopefully we can learn from it. Anyway, that is it. That is all the matchups. That is the deck. I talked a lot. Let's get into the meta and we'll close out this video. So, real quick, is as far as all of this goes, yes, 25 Janemba, it felt like 25 Janemba. I only faced one, and I was very lucky to only face one. I've pretty much faced everybody else. Like, I only faced the one Chilai, which was Brian. I only faced one of the 3 Oobs. I faced one of the... what is this? There's no Prunga. I guess the Prunga is in this. Oh, okay, here you go. One of the 2 Prunga, which one was Young Badman. And then, yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy, honestly. You know, what kind of stuff we're seeing right now. Yes, Toa is prevalent. And I think the people who were playing Toa have switched out to Janemba and the counterplays and the tricolored stuff. And honestly, the Janemba tricolored should have a better matchup. I won't say a good matchup, but better matchup against Toa, simply because of the counterplays. And as long as they are playing the regulator and they are playing it, Janemba will go ahead and respond to that and return to the hand or KO it or whatever it may be, in order to get away from that recursion from the deck using the regulator. And I think that's a huge effective measure as far as a Janemba player versus Toa. Not only that, again, when we're looking at sideboard cards, are people sideboarding for Janemba with TN and the combo cards and Dangerous Journey, etc.? I don't know. I don't think so, though. I wish DBS Decks or Shenron Slayer had a little bit more information about that, but I think that's the other part of it. I think people are still sleeping on Janemba of like, I've been saying it for 3 or 4 sets now, that Janemba should be one of those decks that aren't going to be going away, and it always will have a contention for it. And the top 16, top 32, whatever it may be, show that in the last events. But when we're looking at the Toas, and again, if we compare it to the Janembas and how many there were, either if it was a tricolor, the Guy Nemba, or the yellow and blue Nemba, Toa's didn't really perform that well, with only 2 in the cop cut out of the 13, with 8 of the 12 tricolored, which, by the way, is being piloted by the best players, some of the best players on the East Coast. So like, I feel like that's another testament to it. If you switch this up to all Toas and all the players, the best players are playing it, I feel like that's going to happen in San Diego. I don't know if this is the right play in order to go against Janemba. I think people are now aware of the tricolor Janemba and hopefully have answers to it. I personally think like Green Broly / Sheetlight and the Broly engine is a pretty good a counter to it. I think Shenron hand control is a pretty good counter to it, as long as you have the sideboard options for it. I think Pan with chain attack is still a pretty good counter for it. Only 4 people played it, with 3 of them being red-green. We had low representation for Lord Slug, which still has a pretty good matchup, even against the tricolored Zanumba. I don't think, I mean, other than maybe, I guess the 4-drop Slug is affected by it, but as long as it stays on the board, or if you play around it, or if you play just the Anguillas, it might be a pretty good answer for it. But I mean, overall, like, yeah, it's crazy. Like, we're establishing out the format, and I think it just really comes down to, like, and I said this before, as we have more and more cards added to the pool, it's going to be more and more skill intensive, and we're going to have to understand and have the knowledge for a lot of the decks in the format. You just can't take a deck and expect to do well with it. You have to know the other side of that, the other your opponent, what they're playing, what it does, and etc, etc. Which is why I spent so much time on the Toa video. But overall, interesting, very, very interesting. Got some cool Clash of Fates Goku support, always happy to see that. No baby in the top 16. Oh well, actually one in top 32. I forgot one of them got knocked out. 2 of them got finished with 12 points, which is cool. I like that. And a number of Hooligans, one of them blue-yellow in the top 16, or the top 32, the one that I was talking about in my first round. And then a couple sets to Vegetos, which is interesting. Isaiah playing that What About Hercule, 1 Demigra, 2 hit, 1 Krillin, which was, I think, one of the PPG players. 1 sets, 1 Broly, which I don't think he got 12 plus points, but that's interesting either way. But I mean, honestly, I'm more interested in the open, because there's like a U7 Vegeta in the top. There's a Gogeta BR, my man Joel with the Hana Mastery. There was a lot of stuff going on in the open, and it was some wild shit. Like, it's cool. But honestly, looking towards San Diego, the last chance qualifier for Dallas, I think. I mean, the draft box is going to be legal in Dallas, so really the last format for this is the best format, or the best thing to understand, or okay, the best way to understand this format going into San Diego is to understand this format. Wait, to understand the San Diego format is to understand this format, because it's going to be the same cards, and I think we're going to still see more Janemba, we're going to still see more Shenron. We're still going to see more Toa. I don't know if there is any direct answers to every single one of them. I think a Black Leader is the way to go if you're gonna want to top. I mean, Janemba is a good pick, but I don't think after seeing this showing, I don't think it's going to be that strong as far as the top 16, because I don't think it's going to be top 32 in San Diego, but we'll see. But I'm really curious to see everybody's thoughts. This is almost 30 minutes. I'm going to wrap it up now. If you have the same thoughts or anything different, let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Later.